Joining me on the line right now, he is one of four men in the main event for the Tier 1 A New Hope debut show. He is Luke Hawx. Sir, how you doing?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
Not too much. Trying to stay cool here in California. But you being the Southern Stomper, you probably know all about that kind of weather. So,
It's hot as hell here. It's a little cooler there. Y'all got that dry heat and that cool breeze. It's hot as balls down here. It's real humid. It's about 95 or 100 degrees. You sweat your ass off even at nighttime. You can be 10 o'clock at night and you can find a shady tree. It don't help you. It's hot down here, bro.
well, it just makes you a tougher man, working hard and everything. So, of course, we're here to talk about Tier 1 Wrestling. They are presenting A New Hope July 10th. You, sir, are part of the four-way elimination main event to crown their first Tier 1 champion against Rude Boy Riley, the Sicilian psychopath Tommaso Ciampa, and Speedball Mike Bailey. Originally, one of your opponents was going to be Biff Busick, and from what I understand, he couldn't make this show. I believe he's going to be on the second one. I mean, I'm assuming you were one of the first people they announced actually as a talent just to be on the show in general. When you heard that Biff Busick was on and then going to be taken off, what'd you think about that?
I didn't hear he was on until I heard that he couldn't do the show. So it was like, oh, we had him, and then I don't know what happened, but he's a talented guy. He's hot right now too. So I would have loved that. I've never wrestled him before, so of course I'd love to get in there with him. He's a style. Definitely a styles clash. No pun intended there. But I'd love to get in the ring with him at some point, of course.
Yeah, and he is quite a talent to have. Hopefully, and I do believe he's going to be on the second show. But still, the three other men you're facing, you have quite the reputation yourself, but you're also facing Tommaso Ciampa and a guy who's kind of making his name on the scene right now, and Mike Bailey, and then the upcoming Rude Boy Riley, who's known in the New York area and getting his name out there. But I gotta admit, I'm pretty stoked for this four-way. It's each guy's presenting something different for you. How do you even train for something like that?
I don't know too much about any. Of course I know their names, but it's not like I've studied their styles or anything. I work my ass off anyway, so regardless, I'll be ready. I'm in the gym. I'm training. I'm training 7 days a week. I'm training. I'll go from the gym to Wildcat Sports, my school, and I train there. So it's nonstop for me. So nothing's gonna change. I know the guys are talented as hell. I know it's gonna be a good match. And then to make it even challenging, a bigger challenge, you got four guys in there. So that's always a little more difficult because you got so much going on. You know what I mean? You don't have to just worry about one guy. You got to worry about three guys.
Yeah, I mean that's always hard, especially with it being an elimination match. It's always one of those things where you'll try to not necessarily help your opponent, but you want to get some of those guys out there. Like I'm assuming, like right off the bat, Tommaso Ciampa probably has a big old bullseye on his back. Particularly with some of the, and you and him, I think you guys are just gonna go in there and beat each other up. Given how
I
both of
don't
you
think he's
wrestle.
gonna beat me up. I think I'll beat him up. But yeah,
There you go. There are other wrestlers on the show like Gran Akuma. There is a number one contender match also going on between Joey Ace and Sam Shields. It's a 2 out of 3 falls match. But assuming that you are the Tier 1 champion coming out of it, are there other guys on the card? Maybe you've heard of, or are you just going to say, hey, you know what? I'm the champion. I'll take on all comers.
well, if you watch my promos, like I said, it's the big thing being a champ. It's one thing being a champion. It's one thing being a challenger. When you're a champ, everybody's gunning for you. So when you're a challenger, it's match after match trying to work your way up. When you're a champ, you got everybody coming at you. So it's a lot to prove and it's a lot to hold on to and it's a big responsibility. So it doesn't really matter to me who I face, and of course I want to face the top talent around. So if they're good, they're talented, then I want to share a ring with them. Bottom line, I don't want to be in there with some trash bag wrestler.
You are actually, I mean, you're a pretty well-traveled wrestler. Obviously, you've had some really controversial moments with other wrestlers as well. This isn't your first time, in New York or your first rodeo. But I mean, this is a pretty special thing for Tier 1. How did that happen? Did Tier 1 contact you, and how they go about, signing you?
Yeah, they just contacted me, and I'm very careful who I work for, but the promoter, is pretty good friends with a few of my friends. So right off the back, they wanted to do business. They contacted me the right way. Of course, they paid up front. They got my travel early, and that's a good sign of a promotion. Even one thing promoters do nowadays, like it's common habit, they try and depend on ticket sales to pay for a show, and that's tough to do in this day and age. So because you never know what you're going to get, especially starting out. So this guy Dennis actually called and he said, look, I want to run a show. I'd really like to have you there. I can send you money up front. I can send you travel, as soon as we confirm you, which is, that's like the biggest key in promoting. If you got to take care of the boys before you take care of anything else. You cannot depend on ticket sales to pay for your show, and that's been such a problem with a lot of promoters recently, as you've seen throughout the years. They've had a lot of complaints with that, and stiffing the boys and everything. So as long as a promoter is a good promoter, and hopefully the show does well, hopefully it draws well. It's his first show. It's in New York. There's a big area in New York. There's a big wrestling fan base. Why the hell not? If they're out there on the streets and they're flying and they're Facebooking and this guy's telling his friend and he's telling his friend and all the wrestlers are, doing their work and saying, hey, I'm going to be here at this date, the show should do really well. And I'm looking forward to coming back to New York. I'm not a big fan of New York itself, but I'm just honest, man. That lifestyle and those small hotels and everything and being cramped in, that's not me. But as far as the wrestling out there and the scene and the fans, I love that.
Well, it's going to be a big show for sure. I know I was excited when you were first announced, and then being a part of the main event, I thought that just made perfect sense. You're not one of those names that I think should be on, kind of on the undercard. You've done your stuff, you've paid your dues. But speaking of, you brought up Wildcat. You guys have a pretty big show on August 15th. It is the first 21 and over, and it is called, apparently, I guess, aptly named X-Rated. What's going on with that? Looking at the poster right now, you have Tracy Smothers, Stevie Richards, Sabu, yourself, Katie Forbes, and Brittany Nicole all up on this. What's going on with this?
It's a big show for us, man. It's a big risk at the same time. We're stepping outside our box. Wildcats normally family-friendly shows, and we do really well. We average about 1,000 people a show. It's loud, it's hot, the crowd stays active the whole time, and we love that. With this show, we're actually stepping out the box. We're doing something a little different because we normally run, schools and gymnasiums and stuff like that, which are perfect for us. But this show, we're actually running at a bar room, and it's going to be our first show with alcohol. And, of course, the bar is only 21 and up. The bar is actually a good place that's pretty popular here in New Orleans. They had a midget wrestling show there. And they did well with that, and the owner's a big wrestling fan, so he likes Wildcat. He follows Wildcat, so he came and approached me. He said, "Hey, man, I'd love to do a 21 and up show. I'm a big fan of like ECW, Sabu, all these guys. You think we could have a show here and get some of those guys in?" And I said, "You're talking to the right man. Of course we can." So, but at the same time, it's a risk for us because, like I said, we're a very family friendly show and crowd, and that's what we're used to. So we're stepping outside our box now, and we don't know what we're going to get. We don't know, how much of our fans are 21 and up. We have, like I said, we have a big fan base of kids at our shows, and part of that is we keep it, we keep the prices low and affordable for families. You have a show, you can't go to the movies for $40 on a family of four. You can do that at a Wildcat show. This show, not so much. This show, general admission tickets are still $10, but our front rows are a little more, our floor seats are a little more, and then we have some VIP tables. And that's just because we're, like I said, we're stepping outside the box. We're spending a little more money, bringing some bigger name guys in. And these places also don't hold what we're used to holding. So I don't know what we're going to be able to pack in this building. I guarantee you we'll pack it out, but I don't know what we can technically hold in there. So I'm looking forward to it. We got a hot show planned. We got some big names coming in. Of course, Stevie Richards is one of our hometown favorites that always comes in. Well, he's not from here, but he's a regular at Wildcat. Sabu's making his debut, which is huge for us. I've known Sabu for a long time, so to get him down at Wildcat finally. And Tracy Smothers is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, so they have Tracy here making his debut also is big for me.
Absolutely. No, Tracy Smothers, absolutely. Kind of a big name, particularly in that area. And for those fans, hopefully everyone goes to enjoy it. 21 and over, though, folks. Can't bring the kids, especially when it's featuring Jägermeister. I don't think kids really like that.
Jägermeister's a sponsor, and then we're talking with a few other sponsors right now, some other beer and another couple companies that are interested in sponsoring us. So which is a good sign. They're coming at us. They like what we do, and we usually can't have sponsors like that because, like I said, we're usually running like a school or a family-friendly show, and you can't have Jägermeister as a sponsor at a family-friendly show because we can't serve Jägermeister.
Hey, you got something for the kids. Sometimes you have to give something to mom and pop too, right? You got to give back.
That's it, man.
So yeah, it should be a good, fun show, and of course, maybe one of the wrestlers they can have a Jaeger bomb on me. Who knows? But it should be a good show. Saturday, August 15th, Wildcat X-Rated. Luke, I want to appreciate the time you have giving it to us, talking about Tier 1 and Wildcat. I know you got a lot of stuff to plug, so have at it.
I just want to say, man, come out to the Tier 1 show in New York. That's what, this big thing is about, and that's our next show, so that's what I'm really focused on is just getting ready for that. I'm off this weekend. It's 4th of July. So if you're in the New York Northeast area, Jersey, Philly, come up. It's not a long trip from Philly. I think it's like 2 hours. They can catch a train, catch a bus. If they got a car, drive up there. I promise it won't be something you want to miss, They got Homicide. Homicide's also going to be there, who's, a close friend of mine. So, and he's a legend. That dude's a legend, especially in the New York area. So big lineup. You can't beat the prices. Tickets are on sale now, I believe. And as far as me, if you want to follow me, check me out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Everything's Luke Hawx or at Luke Hawx 504. My Twitter and Instagram is at Luke Hawx 504. Check us out on Wildcat Sports. It's wildcatsports.com. And that's cat with a K. And the same thing with Twitter and Instagram, Wildcat Sports. Check us out. We have free videos on YouTube. You can check out a lot of our big matches. We bring a lot of people in. We've had Stevie Richards, Tommy Dreamer, Shane Helms, Mason Ryan, Booker T. Stevie Ray is our current heavyweight champion. Stevie Ray came out of retirement, actually, to work at Wildcat, and that's all he's working at. So it's a big honor to have guys like that involved with us who actually just want to come down here and have a good time and wrestle. They see our product, and they're like, hell, I want to do this with y'all. So it's all about a good product, man, putting out a solid product and making the fans happy.
There you go. Well, appreciate it, Luke Hawx. Appreciate the time, and good luck in your match.
Thank you, boss. I appreciate y'all having me on.